folks, I'm Professor Thomas McClelland right here, and welcome to our review of Killer Klowns From Outer Space. A film that you will love, a film that you will enjoy, a film that you will positively expect that you will now, Well, hiya folks.
Hi guys.
And thank you again for joining us for this little review. In case you don't know, I'm Thomas McClelland.
I'm Claire McClelland.
I mean, it seems a bit redundant at this point, right?
Yeah.
And today's a big one. Finally gonna do a review on Killer Klowns From Outer Space.
Oh boy, I've been waiting to do this one.
Now, in terms of cult movies, this is right up there with a lot of the big ones, pretty much.
Yeah, like I hadn't heard about it until a few years ago when Deadme did a review on it.
Oh yeah, I remember Deadme did a review. That was good. Thanks for giving us that, James.
By the way, go check out his channel. He's awesome.
Yeah, just, you know, little wink wink, nudge nudge, say no more. I gotta admit though, I actually kind of heard about this before, but for the longest time I thought it was like a joke movie for the longest time.
Yeah, and I looked for it for a few years until Sunrise had it at their store.
Oh yeah, thank you again for Sunrise for distributing the film, and thank you for Arrow Film and Scream Factory to help get it back to its original format, pretty much.
I know, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I love those guys, they're so awesome.
Yeah.
I love how they're bringing back these old forgotten horror films back into the mainstream. Okay, so, for those who don't know, this was the first feature film debut of the Chiodo Brothers.
Yeah, and if you don't know who they were brothers who were very good at special effects, and one of their most famous things that they ever did was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, they did a lot of films with Tim Burton, actually, and a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, they were really tight back in the day.
They pretty much were known as the go-to guys to make sort of these weird, kind of surreal kind of settings for their films, pretty much.
Yeah, and creepy, grotesque kind of things.
And one of their favorite things to deal with was carnivals.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing, too, because carnivals are a very interesting subject to deal with.
Oh, totally.
It wasn't until that one of the brothers, I can't remember which one, had a nightmare about a clown chasing him on basically an invisible scooter while he was driving, that they got the idea to make Killer Klowns From Outer Space.
And later in the movie, you'll see that there's a scene
With the invisible bike and everything.
and that was apparently the pitch for the movie.
Yeah, good thing too. Originally that scene was actually going to be in the beginning of the movie too, but I'm glad they did pretty much.
Yeah, because that wouldn't make any sense.
Speaking of beginning of the film, let's talk about the beginning of the film. So, the film opens up, it's somewhere in space, I think.
And you hear this creepy laughing and music start to arise and crescendo.
And you think it's going to be a Rob Zombie thing, but nope, it's actually a little song by the Dickies.
By the way, we're probably not going to be able to have the...
Well, we don't want to get sued, so we can't play it, so...
But go check it out on YouTube.
It's everywhere on YouTube, you can find it pretty
And
much.
you can also buy it on iTunes.
Exactly, it's a good song. So that's Killer Klowns From Outer Space by the Dickies. I love the Dickies, man. They're kind of like the go-to punk band to make sort of punkish versions of weird, kind of kiddish kind of songs. They also did a music rendition of the Banana Splits theme song.
Oh, yeah.
The Tra-La-La song. Actually, interesting fact, the Dickies were... Well, no, that's not what I want to say. I think people wonder, why did they get the Dickies to do the theme song for this?
Yeah.
Well, there's a good reason for that. If you were a horror comedy in the 80s and the 90s, you had to have a kickin' theme song, pretty much. Ghostbusters, Monster Squad, Transylvania 6500, all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a common thing back in the day.
Oh, yeah. So, the theme song sends us into this little town, and where is this town?
I'm not sure, honestly, but there have been speculations that it's maybe somewhere in California.
Well, that's where they filmed it, I know that, and it does kind of got that sort of California-ish vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like a little tiny college town.
It's a university town.
Oh yeah, totally. And speaking of university, we're then introduced to one of the main antagonists of the films, John Burton. Oh man.
In this film, he is called Curtis Mooney.
And once again, he's playing a stiff authority figure that's got a disdain for youth culture, pretty much.
Now he's a police officer, so back in the day, he could probably shoot you and get away with it.
Most likely. He even calls one of them a little shit.
I know, he's such a dick.
Oh, interesting fact actually. That's student you see with the glasses and everything.
Yeah.
That's a young Christopher Titus right there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Pretty much. And then we're at the top of the world, the local makeout spot, if you know what I mean.
Am I the only one who thinks going there to make out publicly is kind of weird?
It was kind of the thing back then. You would just go, you make out with your gal or do other stuff and say, hey, what's up, bro?
That's just a beer and a condom, I suppose.
Yeah.
So everybody's having a little fun.
Well, then out of nowhere,
This fucking ice cream truck comes out.
Oh, wait. Ice cream truck and clowns? Holy shit, it's Sweet Tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, it's not Sweet Tooth. It's something even worse than Sweet Tooth. The Terenzi Brothers.
Also, their lip syncing in this is horrible.
Like, yes, this is how we talk. We talk like this, totally. Look, I got nothing against the actors that play the Terenzi Brothers, but they're a bit annoying for me, pretty much.
They're annoying and kind of fucking awful.
Yes, they are.
I don't like how they view women.
Yeah, you're gonna get that from a lot in this film, but that's besides the point.
Also, they have such naughty limericks.
It's like, what was the limerick they said? Like,
We'll give you the stick, you give it a lick, and it'll tick you all the way down.
strange. I think that's what Andy Dufresne got from the sisters in Shawshank.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so after those vaudevillian characters are out of the thing, we're introduced to our main characters, Mike Tobacco and Debbie. Yes, that's his name, Mike Tobacco.
Hey, isn't he that guy that made Wally World?
Oh yeah, he was the producer of Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
And he also was the producer for Survivor with Mark Wahlberg.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I like that guy. He started out as an actor in these sort of B-grade level horror films like Killer Klowns and New Year's Evil. But then he went on to be a producer, pretty much.
That's good for him, man.
Oh, totally. He's had an interesting career. So, he's making out with his girl in his dinghy, apparently.
Hey, yeah.
Wait a second. He has a dinghy in his car?
Why?
I guess he likes a kayak in the morning? I don't know.
No, he wants to give her the canoe.
Oh, boy.
No, it could be like that joke that Monty Python did.
What was that?
It's like, American Bear is a little like making love in a canoe.
Make it love a canoe, Bruce.
It's fucking close to water. But he's no scrub, he don't have no beer, he's got champagne.
So, you're telling me this guy's got a dinghy in his boat and he brought champagne with him?
Was he trying to be like extra for this date? Because it's so weird.
Yeah, but that's not even the weirdest thing that happens on this date. The weirdest thing that happens is when Halley's Comet comes out of nowhere. Well, it's not Halley's Comet, but people think it's Halley's Comet.
Yeah, so
Mike and Debbie
are gonna go off in the car and try to find a shooting star.
But they're not the only person that saw that shooting star. We're introduced to my personal favorite character in this film, Gene Green.
He's kind of like some kind of hermit that lives out in the forest.
And the actor who played him was in a lot of Western films, so he's got the sort of country bumpkin accent down right, pretty much. So, well, I'll be greased and fried there, Pooh Bear.
He kind of reminds me of, who's that guy who did the voice work for Disney back in the day?
Oh, you mean Pat Buttram?
I don't know, actually.
I'm surprised they didn't get Pat Buttram. He's known for playing a lot of hillbilly characters, pretty much.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
But no, we got this guy, and he's just as good, pretty much. Especially since he's got a cute doggy with him, also.
Yes.
This-
Speaking of cute doggies, would you like some popcorn?
Hey, well, you want popcorn?
Want popcorn?
Here you go.
Here you go,
Good girl.
sweetheart.
So, Gene Green's going off to check out the meteorite with the help of this handy prop man that accidentally gets into view.
Oops.
It's like, oh, hey, I got into the shot. Should we do that again?
Fuck, we can't afford to shoot it again.
Yeah, this film was shot on a very low budget, so deal with what you can, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, he's off to go check it out, and what does Gene Green find in the middle of the woods?
A circus tent.
A circus tent just in the middle of the woods, pretty much.
With no music.
Yeah, like, how's this guy not wondering what's going on? There's no music, there's no sound, there's no people anywhere. There's not even a dang ticket booth.
If you know, okay, if anybody knows anything about circuses, you can literally hear them like miles away.
Yeah, I hear circuses all the time sometimes.
You know, like the Western Fair?
Yeah,
We can literally sometimes hear like miles away.
pretty much.
It's that loud.
But-
So the fact that it's like quiet ass dead in the night, like tent, like the fuck.
But then out of nowhere, this weird, creepy shadow comes out of nowhere and takes some Pooh Bear away.
Damn, what was a good dog in this movie? You might want to not stay here for this review. It's not going to go well. Ready? Okay.
Okay, so he doesn't know where his dog is, and he punches the tent, but it's made of metal.
And then he says the most iconic line in the fucking movie.
All together now. 1, 2, 3. I'll tear this thing apart with my bare hands.
And then purple lightning, fucker.
Purple lightning? Is Prince in that tent?
Yeah, I don't know. But his hands are like scorched with like 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah, you would too if you grabbed onto that giant pipe electric thingy.
And then we see
We see this guy right here.
Yeah.
Pretty much same clown and everything. What is with his head? Is it shaped like a pear or is it just winging?
Oh, those teeth.
They gave him vampire fangs.
He turns him into
That. Ah, he turns him into cotton candy.
Certainly not into cotton candy anymore.
But before we get to Mike and Debbie, let's cut back to the cops for a minute now. So, who are our cops in this town, pretty much?
So there's Officer Mooney, which is...
Grade A douchebag.
And then we got this other guy. His name is David.
You're Dave.
Or Dave.
Just Dave. Now, David, I think, actually went to police academy, so he's the only one with a formal education in copping, pretty much.
And I got a feeling he's new.
And as for Officer Mooney, how did he become a cop is what I want to know. Probably he had like a rich dad or something that got him onto the force and stuff like that.
Well, if it isn't a university town.
Gotta admit, John Vernon just cracks me up in this film. He clearly is like not caring about these kids pretty much that he's been served to protect pretty much. Especially when he takes in these 2 punks into the station.
They weren't doing anything, dude. They were just walking through the park with some wine.
You think they were on a date?
I think they're okay. We think we're just saying this that
Those 2 punks.
are together.
Hey, I ship it.
I ship it. They're cute.
So, Mooney's, an asshole. That's established pretty much.
And he basically arrests them without reason.
Yeah, pretty much. I bet afterwards, like, now just excuse me. I gotta go take care of Animal House! Pretty much. And now we cut back to Mike and Deb, and they're going into the woods pretty much to see that tent, the comet that they think fell down.
Also, let's account the friendship jokes that Mike says.
Okay, let's see. We got Chief running at the mouth gag. So that's racist against Native Americans. Then we get a joke about Miss 50-50, half man, half woman. Gender bias jokes, I guess.
Yeah.
Then we get Gumbo, the toothless elephant joke.
Animal abuse.
And then finally we got Belinda, the bulimic wonder.
Mental health disorder.
Yeah, this was the 80s back when you could make those jokes and nobody would care, pretty much. I don't know why, it just was.
But of course he mentions the fact that this place is decorated by Clowns R Us.
I went to Clowns R Us, it was actually a pretty cool place to visit. Actually, there is something I want to bring about this scene. There's actually a deleted scene of this that I wish they didn't take out pretty much.
It actually explains why Debbie really does not want to go inside the circus tent.
Apparently she's got maybe like clown phobia or something like that.
She had a traumatic experience when she was a child where her parents took her to a circus and there was a clown that picked her up and scared the living shit out of her.
Yeah, pretty much.
And ever since then, Molly, she's been afraid of clowns, and I don't blame her.
Now that's some interesting backstory that I wish they kept into the film. It would explain her hesitance to go inside and everything.
Well, of course, if I had clown phobia, I'd be the same.
I don't like clowns. And speaking of clowns, after they find out that this place is basically a spaceship with this giant ball thingy, pretty much.
Hey, let's touch it. Maybe it'll make the hair stand up even more.
Pretty much. Well, she does have that 80s hairdo, pretty much.
Fuck, I hate those hairdos.
And then we enter up into this sort of like a storage area.
With cotton candy.
Cotton candy cocoon truck
And,
thingies.
Popcorn?
Yeah, they got a popcorn
machine?
computer.
Come on, go on.
And apparently, one of the they find a classmate, I think, in one of them. Joe Lombardo or something like that.
Yeah, like I think he's like a friend of Mike.
Yeah, something like that. And then these clown things, goddamn, they're creepy looking. They go and chase them with the popcorn gun and everything.
Here, you hold it now.
Okay, but why popcorn exactly?
Because they're clowns, that's why.
You got me there. Literally anything in this movie, when you ask why they're using this specific thing, just remember, they're clowns.
It's like, why is it clowns?
Pretty much. Then we see these clowns.
And holy shit.
Yeah, boy are they scary. Like, I'm gonna say it, they're actually scarier than the Joker, Pennywise, and all other scary clowns combined, pretty much. They got such weird faces, and the makeup and the animatronics on them are very, very good.
Well, I think the difference with those other clowns is that these are not supposed to be like humans.
Like, they're aliens, and
They're
boy do
aliens.
they look like really realistic almost.
Ooh.
It's kind of unsettling. It's like smack dab in the middle of the uncanny valley. Like, you know it isn't human, but something tells you something's wrong, pretty much.
And the fact that they're like 10 feet tall.
And very strong, apparently. Oh, interesting fact, actually, about those clown suits. Do you know what movie they were in afterwards, actually?
Which one?
Well, for a long time, they languished in sort of like, kind of like this, you know where you have like old props that you just keep away kind of thing like that?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they kind of deteriorated and were a little bit damaged after a while. So, they remodeled them a little bit, and they were used in, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Fuck.
Yeah, they were the trolls in that. I mean, that explains why the trolls are so scary looking, probably. Okay, so Mike and Debbie are being chased by the clowns. They get in their car and they get away. And unfortunately, we get way too many close-ups of these things, pretty much.
Fuck's sake.
Like, they're so, I hate it when they go close-up on the clown's face.
Do they also have balloon?
Yeah, they
Dog?
make balloon dogs, and like they're sentient and shit. I don't know.
It's kind of funny though. I'm expecting the mask to pop out any moment.
And here we have a French poodle. Sorry, son, the dog was rabbit. Had to put it down.
Anyways.
So, unfortunately, they kind of lead the clowns into town.
Yeah, way to go, guys. Now you pretty much killed everybody off in town.
Now they're gonna be invaded by juggalos.
Clown with the strap on. Fuck off.
I don't want to see that. So, they go to the cops, but much like any other cop in these movies, they're worthless pretty much.
Okay.
Say, what kind of film are we watching, by the way? They're Clowns From Outer Space. Thanks, John Vernon.
Title drop.
Pretty much. Gotta admit, I mean, Dave kind of tries, and he's a little open to interpretation, but Moody's having none of it, pretty much.
How would you believe somebody like that?
Okay, I get it. If someone told me there were killer clowns coming, I'd probably not believe it either.
Also, Moody straight up calls her a little tramp.
Yeah, Moody just has no chill, pretty much.
Man, if he said that to me, I'd kick him right in the balls. I wouldn't care if he is a cop.
He'd probably shoot you, though, afterwards. So, they leave the station. Mooney says a foreshadowing line. Go ahead, Dave. Make a dummy out yourself. But you're not gonna make a dummy out of me.
Oh boy, that's gonna come and bite him in the ass.
White middleweight, probably. And they go into the car, and we find out that the reason that Debbie went to the cops is because she used to date Dave, apparently.
Oh god, no.
Ah, man, it's some love triangle shit, pretty much. And
He's kind of controlling though.
Yeah, Dave is kind of controlling, isn't
And
he?
kind of an asshole.
Maybe there's a reason they broke up.
Like seriously, he was gonna lock her back up in the station if she didn't agree to go back home.
Because we gotta have the big manly men take care of this. We can't have no ladies here. Yeah, but that's not important. What is important is we see the clowns running amok in town. We see one of them pretending to be a floaty thing.
I think he was trying to mimic an animatronic.
Pretty much, and then he's raiding the, what is that, a mini mart or something like that?
No, it's a pharmacy.
Yeah, they don't mind me, man. Just getting me some monster-sized cunt. You know what they say about big guys with floppy feet. And then we see some clowns putting on puppet shows and all that.
About the unrequested love.
Pretty much.
No means no.
And we get a creepy laugh from it.
Oh.
So, Mike and Dave go to check out the meteor. It's not there anymore.
Obviously.
And so, Mike gets arrested for the first degree of clowning around, pretty much. And Debbie thinks it's a great idea to take the longest shower in recorded history.
I think I tried recording this one time. It was literally like 22 to 24 minutes.
Jesus Christ, lady.
Like, what the hell are you doing in there? Jerking yourself off?
No wonder California's in the middle of a drought because of her. So, that doesn't matter though, because then we get to one of my favorite scenes in the clown movie, the biker scene.
Oh fuck yeah, this scene is so cool.
We see some bikers, they're just hanging out, doing biker shit and all that.
And then Shorty comes up.
Yeah, our favorite clown, Shorty the Clown.
He's like, they see me rolling, behaving.
Did you really just do that song?
Yes.
Shame on you.
Oh come on, you could have done it too.
And then one of the bikers is like, woo-wee, big bad JoJo rolling into town.
Also, black biker.
Hey, at least these gang of bikers are pretty diverse, pretty much.
Thank God.
Yeah.
'Cause everybody else in town seems like jerk-offs.
Yeah, everyone's white in this town, I've realized also.
Hey.
And so, one of the dudes breaks Shorty's bike and all that, pretty much, right?
And he makes little sad noises. And he jumps up, comes back down.
Yeah.
He's got boxing gloves. Put up your dukes. Put up your dukes.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
Yes. And his head literally comes right off.
Lands in the trash can. And all together now.
Damn! And the body just falls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, creepy laugh again. Ah.
God damn. You see, this is the kind of violence I can get behind. So, little heads up, this movie is technically rated PG-13, which means you're not going to see any boobs or swearing in this, except for the occasional holy shit and maybe like 2 utterances of the word fuck in this film, pretty much. But they do keep the gore intact in this film.
Yeah, so thank God for that part.
Because let's be honest, when you think of a movie like Killer Klowns From Outer Space, you're expecting over-the-top deaths and stuff like that, right?
Totally.
And I'm glad to say this film pretty much does in this regard.
So then we see like this burger joint.
Oh yeah, the creepiest scene in the movie, the burger joint. And I gotta admit, this poor little girl, I feel bad for her. She's just trying to have a birthday party, but it's a bunch of boring adults talking.
I was gonna say, what kind of birthday party are you having where it's all the adults? It's like her mom and her friends are throwing you a birthday party and you're the only kid.
And man, these chairs that they're sitting on look uncomfortable.
God, I can see like griddle marks on my ass if I sit on those.
But then out of nowhere, our boy Jumbo comes back pretty much.
And was he putting like red glittery lipstick on?
Probably.
Anyways, so he tries to lure her outside.
In a scene kind of reminiscent of the drain scene from It in a way.
The original one.
Yeah, pretty much where, you know, it's the whole stranger danger thing pretty much.
And he literally has a giant mallet and he's gonna basically
Bash in her head probably.
kind of like from the comic Lighthouse.
Oh yeah, kind of. But thankfully her mom gets her there pretty much.
And she's like, get back here, young lady, you're not going anywhere till you finish your food. And then
boy, did that piss him off.
yeah, because then we can see his mouth open and
Pretty
why
much.
the hell is his teeth like that?
I don't know. Say, what's Mike and Dave been up to this whole time pretty much?
Fucking around.
No, not really. They do find all the cars at the top of the world have been abandoned pretty much.
If you look closely at some of the like window shields like on the cars,
yeah.
there's fingerprints like this.
God damn, that's terrifying.
That's terrifying. Like some of these guys are probably yanked from their cars.
And I kind of like the effect they do with the cotton candy, where it looks like a mixture of spider webs and you know all that sticky stuff from the movie Aliens. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that for some reason.
I think that's like some kind of like saliva or mucus.
I thought it was like a sap or something. Yeah, so now Dave believes in Mike and they're going to go and fight these clowns. They gotta do it quick. They've already killed the old pizza lady, pretty much.
What is this? This feels like an
It
awkward porn.
feels like a rejected porno idea. 4 clowns, 1 girl.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry though. Usually in movies like this, it's not a clown that pops out of the pizza, pretty much. It's usually penis.
What is Shorty in there?
He's not. He may be called Shorty, but he's Pan. Let me tell you.
slapping across the knees.
And also, I think we can see her nipples also.
Yeah, you can totally see her boobs.
Damn! This movie got kinky super quick.
But then she turns into a wine-flavored cotton candy. Yeah.
And we see a person give a candygram to some lady.
And you can pretty much assume that she's dead.
Pretty much. So, Mike and Dave are now going to try and fight the clowns, but not until we see this very impressive puppet show, actually.
This fucker has like 4
fingers, and yet he's able to make stuff like, I'd love to see a bunny rabbit, an elephant, Washington crossing the Delaware, belly dancing lady.
Yeah.
He's in the band with a hoochie dance.
Oh, boy.
And of course, a T-Rex that looks like it came straight from Jurassic Park, pretty much.
With the red glowing eye.
And one dude's like, boo. Boo.
Like, you do better than that.
And then he eats them, and then he
Puts them into his popcorn bag.
and he jumps up pretty much. And you know something, I don't want to eat popcorn all of a sudden. Actually, I'm taking that stuff over here. So he jumps up, and now Dave finally calls in Mooney to help out, pretty much.
But he tells him, fuck you.
Over. Yeah, if anyone's gonna say fuck you, it should be John Vernon, pretty much. And yeah, Mooney's having none of it. He doesn't believe anything's going on. He thinks that it's the kids pulling this elaborate prank or something.
Jesus Christ, dude.
He's so vain.
He's so
vain. You probably think these clowns are about you. So, Dave and Mike split up. Mike goes to get the Drenzy Brothers help. Yeah, big help they'll be, right?
Not really.
Yeah.
They're really fucking annoying. I wish they died.
Mm-hmm. And then Dave goes off to call in like reinforcements or something.
Yeah.
But he then gets to the police station, and it's very dark. It's very ominous.
Hold on, before we get to that part.
Oh yeah.
The clown gets to the station first.
Oh yeah, right. We forgot. There's a scene where the clown gets there first. And I gotta admit, the comedy on display here is top notch, pretty much. It's kind of like the straight man funny guy routine, except it's John Vernon involved.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, what we goddamn to do?
What the fuck?
For me?
That's not water.
Yeah, what he doesn't know is that that water pump is attached to the clown's penis.
Well, it's clouded water, so it's like...
So, they take him into jail, while also taking off his cartoony finger in hands.
Ugh.
And he waddles his ass into the slammer, while also doing this. But unfortunately, though, he killed John and Vernon off in a kind of boring way, to be honest.
Ooh, come on. He didn't even hit the fucking bars.
I know, like, come on, you expecting me, a guy like Mooney, to die like that?
It's kind of anticlimactic for a douchebag like him.
But hey, at least the clown, like, at least the punks get something funny to say before they die. What are you in here for?
Clown stuff.
Clown life! Like, yeah, you in clown territory now, son. And so, Dave finally gets to the station now.
It's dark.
It's kind of eerie. And there are these weird footprint things everywhere. It looks like something from a demented Chuck E. Cheese.
And it also reminds me of also like the things they'd have like in the McDonald's playhouse as a kid.
Except if it was made by H.R. Geiger, I guess. And Dave gets there, the punks were killed apparently.
No.
They didn't even get their phone call or telling each other how they felt. But anywho, Dave goes to call for some help. However, we get this terrifying puppet scene.
Holy fucking shit.
Now, if there's one thing I hate more than clowns, it's puppets.
And he basically says,
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
and he pulls out his hand and it's all bloody.
Yeah, PG-13, may I remind you. You're not getting any boobies, but you bet your ass you're gonna get some blood in this.
Like, holy god.
Although, strange enough, seeing John Vernon's face like that reminded me of something I wanted to say.
Oh.
John Vernon is Jigsaw.
I don't look like a big I didn't know.
I could totally see John Vernon playing like John Crane or something like that. So, the clown's going to kill Dave. He takes a shot, and are these things invincible or what? Like, seriously, nothing seems to be able to kill these guys, pretty much.
Until he hits it square in the nose.
Ah, yes, the old classic. Hit the clown right in the nose.
Well, might as well have a target on it.
Pretty much. And then he turns into this really actually impressive effect for the time, pretty much.
Yeah, like a giant glittery
ball of death.
of death.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a crystal glittery cocoon, and then it explodes into.
Yeah, very much. So
then Dave calls in reinforcements. Help is on the way.
Yeah, somehow they believe him about the whole killer clowns thing.
And then he realizes, oh shit,
Debbie!
I left her at her house like an idiot.
Speaking of idiots, let's go back to the Terenzi brothers, who apparently don't believe Mike's tale. They believe the whole Debbie with the two big booby roommates and everything.
I really hate these guys. They're just so sex driven.
They're sex driven and they're really unfunny.
Really unfunny.
But who cares? Because now we get definitive proof about these clowns coming and everything. In a scene where it's kind of implied that they've almost killed off the entire town by the looks of it.
Yeah, like all the cocoons that you see, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, these guys are just going around killing fools.
And there was some guy that was hiding in the car, but like an idiot, he decided to run for it.
Dude, just stay there. They won't notice you're there.
Like they probably can't look down.
Look how big they are.
Well, they probably can look down, but not that far down.
Well, the costumes are kind of hard to look down.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
he's dead. The brothers are like, fuck off, and we're going off.
And so they go to Debbie's house finally, and finally Debbie's done taking her hour-long shower, it looks like.
What? Like, holy shit.
Hey, come on, lady, we're in the middle of a drought. We don't have time for this crap. But there's something I forgot to mention. We get this little scene earlier where we see this clown sprinkling popcorn into a dumpster behind Big Top Burger.
And it starts moving.
And then this guy goes to throw out the garbage and he gets devoured by something. Well, in the shower, we finally see what it is. These weird snake clown jack-in-the-box thingies.
Congratulations, it's a horrifying monster.
Yeah. Wait, does that mean that the popcorn's their eggs? I like that.
Hey.
So, Debbie gets rid of the monsters and everything like that.
You hear to knock from the door and she thinks it's
Mike, but nope, it's the clowns. I mean, they are clowns. It makes sense they're gonna do ventriloquism stuff.
True.
Also, I don't think these things speak English. I mean, we see a few of them kind of speak little bits of English, pretty much.
But not a lot.
Pretty much. So, Debbie gets kidnapped by the clowns. For some reason, they put her in a balloon for some reason. Why?
I don't know, but it's hinted that they did it to a few other people.
Maybe they're gonna, like, dissect them or something like that.
Maybe keep them alive for other things.
Like slaves or, oh god, something else.
You know how people have chicken farms?
Oh boy.
They're basically chickens.
I mean, they only seem to kidnap women in those things.
I
So,
don't know why.
then we get the Terenzi brothers chasing after a clown car while Dave is hopped behind the Terenzi brothers ice cream truck.
And the footage for this scene is speed up.
You know, if you add some Betty Hill music to it, it'd probably make sense. Just saying. And somehow, they stopped their ice cream truck and rammed Dave accidentally. And I'm like, is this ice cream so tough that it can break an entire cop car?
What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure that's with the opposite, probably. So, answer me this, Claire. If you were a clown, where would you hide at?
Amusement park.
Exactly. And that's where the clowns are hiding now. And there we get only one security guard?
Where's the other security guards?
Like, it's just one dude armed with just a flashlight and a sandwich.
By the way, this is a sad meal.
Like, no mayo? No
It's
nothing?
a dry ass, nasty ass sandwich with nothing to wash it down with also.
Here, doesn't it have like a little coffee thing or something?
Or a soup container.
Speaking of soup, did you know originally this guy was going to be played by comedian Soupy Sales?
Oh, really?
Well, apparently the Chiodo Brothers were really a big fan of his work and stuff like that, and they wanted him to have a cameo, but the studio refused that because they're like, nobody will know who that is. And fair to them, because I didn't even know Soupy Sales was a comedian.
I don't know either.
Pretty much. Anywho, this guard's like, I'm sorry, you're gonna all have to leave. And of course, being a clown car, like 5 clowns come out of it. And they're armed with
Pies. I love it how Shorty's like,
yeah, look what I got. It's got cream and everything.
he's like,
What are you gonna do with those pies, boys?
and they kill him.
With
Very,
acid.
with really acidic pies.
They're acid-filled pies. Seriously, this is something that the Joker would totally do. Maybe like Mark Hamill Joker, not like any other Joker except maybe Jared Leto, but still that's that. Anywho, so clowns go inside, and Shorty puts a little cherry on top, which is kind of cute.
At least he decorates the remains.
And then the gang gets there, and they go inside basically. Also, I just realized Dave is the only one with guns, pretty much.
Why didn't you bring more weapons?
I was thinking the other guys got nothing to fight with, pretty much. They got nothing. Not even like a little knife or something.
They're screwed.
Pretty much. But when they're inside the amusement thing and all that, with some nice little sets here that I think were used in some other films that the Chiodos worked on, especially though the Pee-wee movies.
Probably. They come up with ideas of why the clowns are here and what are they.
Maybe they aren't clowns, perhaps. They're maybe like ancient astronauts. And maybe our idea of clowns came from them or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Other people think that maybe they're coming from a dying planet or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Although personally, I like to believe that they're actually just, just cruising along and they stop for a bite to eat, pretty much.
Like takeout.
Except the takeout is Soylent Green. Humans. So, the Tracy brothers get separated, which is probably for the best.
And they meet, what the fuck?
There are clown ladies with inflatable titties.
And apparently they asked the stupid question.
Are you Debbie's roommates?
I bet like the two clown ladies looked at each other and then looked back at them and said, sure.
Which makes me wonder, so there are clown women. Are we implying that they, have sex?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a sex scene between those guys would look like, but it'd probably be the most scariest thing on earth, probably.
I don't want to think about it.
So, we then get, they finally get into the storage unit with all those cotton coon thingies.
And Mike suggested that it looks like they bagged the whole town.
It sure looks like that, like Jesus Christ.
Like, oh my god, did they really kill off the entire town?
Probably.
Fuck.
So they get Debbie out of there pretty much, but
before they do, they hide because a clown comes into the room and gets a little midnight snack.
God damn it, dude, we have a long ride ahead of us. Don't start eating all our food.
But that crazy straw, though.
Yeah, of course they have crazy straws.
God, that crazy straw would take you ages to drink out of.
Yeah, by the time that it finally hits your lips, you've given up the habit already. So, they get Debbie out of the balloon, and unfortunately the loud bang that they caused because they couldn't just poke it or something like that.
He has a badge, why doesn't he own?
Anyways, they poke it, they blow it up, and then the clowns start chasing them again.
They basically run further down.
Into the spaceship.
Which is not a good idea.
And they almost get eaten by this sarlacc thing on a pole thing.
They go through some giggly jiggly doors.
They go through some sort of anglerfish thingy.
With fucking balloons.
It's balloons and smoke everywhere. And then they go to a wacky door. That's kind of another door, another door, another door.
Well, technically he said it 4 times, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they get in, and Dave, like an idiot, has wasted all his ammo now, pretty much.
And he uses his only shotgun.
Pretty much.
To barricade the door.
And now they're surrounded by hundreds of clowns now. It's like one of my worst nightmares. Yeah, they're pretty screwed. But then the Tracy brothers actually proved to be useful for once and drive in as JoJo, the great and powerful.
Why are their clothes torn and what's with the lipstick?
Again, I don't want to think about it. Yeah, let's not get into it. But yeah, they come to save the day as their god, I guess. Do they have a clown Jesus or something like that? He slipped on a banana peel for our sins.
But then suddenly...
We get...
a loud wah.
Oh boy, that can only mean one thing.
Shit is about to go down.
And by go down, it's Clownzilla himself, the great JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. So he, I think, pretty much kills the Tracy brothers by throwing their ice cream truck and having it blow up pretty much.
There's no way anybody can survive that.
And Dave stays behind to fight the Clownzilla and everything. With just a handgun, pretty much.
And Mike and
Debbie get out.
They get out, and the
spaceship
starts to take off.
Like a giant top, in a way.
It's actually really pretty.
It is. Dreidel. So, they're going up in there.
Finally, reinforcements comes, like
Yeah, where were you
Damn
guys?
it.
Yeah. But then again, we got Dave fighting Clownzilla, and for some reason, even with his little handgun, he can't hit the big friggin' nose.
That nose is like the size of a beach ball.
You'd think it'd be an easy target.
Christ.
But then Clownzilla grabs him and he's about to eat Dave, but then Dave just grabs his little sheriff badge thing and pops it.
And the spaceship blows up.
Pretty much. But then,
It's the space car.
yep, the space clown car. And Dave's in there, and the Terenzi brothers, because they pulled an Indiana Jones and hid in the fridge when it blew up.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And then for some reason, there's this weird scene where Dave is like hugging Debbie from
And
behind.
giving her shoulder rubs and head kisses.
Hey, maybe Dave, Debbie, and Mike are gonna get into a little polyester relationship going on.
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous, yeah.
I'd be down.
I'm down with it, man. And then,
Pies.
out of nowhere.
Pies with glitter.
Yeah.
There was actually a blooper from that scene where it's the scene where they're having the pies thrown on the face for that last scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave's character is like,
The actor who played Dave, yeah.
yeah, he's like, fuck, that hurt.
Then we're played out by the Dickies, and that's Killer Klowns From Outer Space.
So what do we think about it?
Well, it's a really interesting film.
It has a lot of problems admittedly.
But let's be honest, you're only here to watch the clowns killing people in weird and wacky ways.
Totally. So besides all the problems, I can deal with it.
Now, interesting enough, there was a planned sequel for this apparently.
But it never happened.
Yeah, it was going to be called Killer Klowns in Outer Space in 3D.
Oh no, 3D.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the project kind of just died down, and Chiodo's never got to film it.
Yeah, it's sad.
But I'm down for a sequel.
Yeah.
I would totally watch a sequel to this, pretty much.
Hey, it'd be really cool.
Yeah, totally. So, like I say, is the film great? Not necessarily. But is it entertaining? Oh, most definitely.
Totally.
So I'd have to give this little beauty a 8 out of 10 for me, pretty much. What about you?
I'm gonna be fair and also gave it an 8 out of 10.
Alright.
Only because, yes, it has its problems, and I'm not so keen with the sexist remarks. But that's, again, people say, well, it was a product from its time. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. But you still love the film, right?
Oh, yeah, I love watching this film.
It's got so many crazy kooky stuff in it.
And so many iconic lines.
Yeah, pretty much. So, if you guys want to have a clown experience that doesn't involve, like, clowns being teased to death by loser clubs or clowns getting beat up by Batman, go give this film a try, pretty much.
Totally.
Okay, thank you for seeing our review of Killer Klowns From Outer Space. If you like this film, make sure to like and subscribe, and share this with your friends.
And also to leave a comment down below to see what you want us to do next.
If you want to see any of our stuff, you can check out our social medias on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
And until then,
Well, I think we should go now. But first, before we go, we just have one thing to say.
hold on. Did you just pull Madagascar's polka dot?
Maybe.
You are part of the problem.
Okay, folks, see ya.
See ya. Now let's eat this cotton candy.
Yeah, I can eat some cotton candy.